What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Eric Roberts Fitness Podcast. Hope you're doing well. Today, we are joined with my brother from another mother, my guy Pat. What's going on, baby?
How we doing, man? Cheers.
Cheers.
We did a leg day earlier, and I almost literally died. I almost passed out. No exaggeration. We're in South Florida right now, and it's very humid. I was sweating a lot. We did a very heavy set of squats, a very heavy set of deadlifts.
Are those going to be on our, really quickly, are those going to be on our socials maybe? Maybe we can put those on our socials.
Yes, in some capacity. Maybe the full workout, clips of it, maybe a combo of all.
Might even be on this YouTube channel. Who knows?
True.
Go to our Instagram or TikTok at Eric Roberts Fitness, at Gains by Pat, and check it out because that was a tough workout. Keep going, but I wanted to mention that.
But yeah, that was a great workout. We worked up to 365 for barbell RDLs, and we did 315, and it was like, all right, this is easy. Eric was like, bro, that's too easy for you. Went up and weighed again by 5-10 pounds.
It was.
That was still pretty easy, and he was like, bro, 365. And I was like, dog, I haven't done that for a minute, but I'm down. He did 6, and then he was like, bro, you're doing it too easy. You got to go for like 10. And I got to like 7, or you said 8.
Yeah.
And I got to 7, and I like legit went to failure, probably past failure, and then almost passed out right after.
Yeah. It was good.
It was great.
It was a good lift.
It was phenomenal. It was the best workout I've had for a while.
Even like starting off really quickly, and we were talking about this, but so many people go into their workouts and they do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exercises, and after 2 exercises, we were toast.
And we only did 6 working sets up to that point. That's the crazy part too. We were just grinding with it.
That was our 6th working set. Yeah, we did 3 working sets of a safety bar squat, and then it was a 6, 5, 3 rep range. Yep. We were just kind of fucking around, seeing what we had, and then we did the RDL. Yeah, we were trying to go heavy for the strength there, and then went to RDLs. We did 295, 315, 365, which was a big jump.
That was a big jump.
That was a big jump.
That was ambitious as hell. That was so ambitious.
But it worked.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad. But all right, so Eric is very disciplined with his meals. Like, he had 2 very quality meals to start the day. He's on his game. I woke up, had like a meal with just like some protein and like minimal carbs, and I had like a very quick protein bar, and we worked out at like 1 essentially. So I didn't eat that much beforehand, and so that was me being an idiot. Yeah. And then Eric, the best pal that he is, I was in the process of like almost passing out, walking to the bathroom, and then he comes in the bathroom with a Kirkland Sport, a knockoff Gatorade, and saved the day. Shout out Kirkland.
Free advertising.
Yeah. Shout out to them. But yeah, that saved the day.
But that's a good
lesson too.
Yeah, it's a good lesson because if you guys do those 2 things, if you don't eat enough beforehand and you like try to go do a heavy fucking workout, it's gonna be pretty tough for you to like make sure you get in, make sure you get through that workout, because you're gonna deplete all of your glycogen storage, and if you deplete your glycogen, you're gonna be fucked, and you're gonna be lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, all that stuff.
Or or not be able to push yourself as much during the workout.
Yeah.
If I had to keep
almost
going.
equal.
Yeah,
it sucks.
True. Yeah. Either way,
so
it sucks.
that, and so what I gave him it's like a Gatorade just with a bunch of sugar. Which is funny because anybody who was a client of mine in person, Linda, when you listen to this, my coach Linda, her first session, she was like on the floor just like you were. So I had to give her a fucking Clementine, and she ate it. She finished. That's how I knew she was a savage. She didn't quit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I've heard about Linda.
She's a beast.
I've heard about Linda. Shout out to Linda.
Shout out to Linda.
Yeah, shout out to Linda.
But yeah, like you have some of that quick sugar, and that's how you can keep pushing. So those 2 things. If you're feeling like shit, make sure you have carbs. Make sure you have carbs beforehand. But
yeah, that was great. We're here in South Florida. This is where I live. Eric came down to visit. He hit me up like a month ago, and he was like, "What's good? I'm about to be down there. Let's link up." We linked up this time last year in South Florida. Got a nice dinner. Yeah. But we hadn't worked out together, so we had to get a workout in, kick it for the day. We were going to go to the beach, but it is monsooning outside, hurricane potentially.
This
is what you get in South Florida.
Yeah.
Sometimes
all of you guys who are on audio only, like you can't.
Just visualize a tsunami hurricane going on.
Fucking rain. Yeah,
you can hear it.
Anybody who knows me, I'm very much like, I love the beach. That's like my happy place. And I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna lift my guy Pat. Like, I can't wait. We're gonna do some content.
It's gonna be a great day.
It's gonna be a great day. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to the beach. So
it was tragic. It was nice earlier too. That's the sad part. But
that's Florida, man. I know I should have got out there earlier, but
it is. No,
it's all good.
Made some good content today.
Yeah, making some right now.
Yeah, we're making it right now, and
yep.
some other videos. But where we want to go with this? We're gonna answer questions. We're gonna talk about. What are you thinking?
Since it's your first time on the pod, just talk a little bit about yourself. How about that? Because everybody knows Eric. So talk a little bit about yourself and give them a little backstory. Give them just about you, and then we can also just kind of chit chat about how we met and so on and so forth.
I think that's a fun story.
Yeah.
Remember the first time we FaceTime, I was like, he's a homie for sure. All right, so trying to think of how far back to go. I'll do a very quick intro of like how I got into fitness and then go from there. So I grew up playing basketball. I was like the smallest kid. When I was like a freshman in high school, I was like 5'2", 98 pounds. And it was ridiculous. And so I knew I needed to get stronger, hoping that I would get taller. And so I was like just attacking the weight room. Like that's all I did was just like, because I like still wasn't that skilled at basketball, but I would like work on that. And I was like, either way, I got to get stronger.
Why were you, so like you knew the weight room was the answer. Like you
knew,
okay.
And like that was one thing, you talk about this, but it's like you can control the controllables. Like I'm not going to be as athletic as the next guy, but I can do my best. And if like coaches see me working hard with shit, then they're going to be like, like he, someone you want around the team and everything. So anyway, like worked really hard with it. Ended up only growing like 6-7 more inches in life, but we're here now. And so kept like working out, and I love playing basketball, and I went and played basketball for a year. But even when I was in high school and like that first year in college, I like loved the process of getting better, not necessarily actually playing the game. As weird as that might sound, like I love being in the gym. I love getting stronger. I love getting better with drills. So anyway, I played in basketball in college for a year. And then our team went 0-24. My college team, shout out Muskingum. And I didn't play at all. I didn't play. I was like, all right, it's time to hang it up. Yeah. So I got like halfway through the season, and I would just like go lift before the games. I was like, I'm not gonna play either way.
High school. Bro. So I did in high school, but I started. Like everyone was like, bro, what are you doing lifting for the? I remember my coach was like, are you gonna be able to play? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And literally, I was like, I was good,
That's
bro.
Savage. That's savage. My guy wanted to pump out there. I respect it, bro. I respect it. But it's crazy because like NBA teams and college teams do it like after the games now too, and like even before they'll do different like random shit. But so playing college for a year. Once I decided I like realized I wasn't gonna play anymore, I was like I need something to occupy my time because my time was so filled with basketball, and I didn't want to just like drink all the time and that'd be all I did. So I was like, I'm gonna start getting into lifting a lot. Met a homie at college that was like big into bodybuilding. He kind of like showed me the way. When I actually first started lifting, I would alternate days between a chest day and an arm day.
That's it.
And that was it.
No legs. Typical 19-year-old split.
Yep, exactly. So then after that, I took that whole summer, like got like abs for the first time, was like super into it, went to college, started doing like personal training, just like spent all my time on fitness. I got my degree in finance, but I just like spent all my time doing fitness shit. Like
personal training, so was that like through?
It was through the college, yeah.
Was it? Was it?
Okay. It was like at the gym.
Did you apply for it or?
I applied for it, and I only did it for like a very short period of time, and then I got a different job at the gym where I was like in charge of like hiring new employees and then scheduling out like who was going to work at different times. So it was like paying a lot more, and it was like more of like a management role, and I thought I was going to go into business, like my degree's in finance. I was like, I feel like this is like a better thing, but I still spent all my time on like learning nutrition, learning like lifting shit. So anyway, fast forward, loved fitness side of things, like learned a lot, got in really good shape, got strong, blah, blah, blah. Had a finance job. Hated it, was working like just it ended up being like an 8 to 6 grind. It was like working with like personal finance and like taxes and all this shit, and it was just in a cubicle in Columbus, Ohio. And one of my best friends like ran his own business, and he was like, bro, like I don't think you're happy. Like you should start your own business and do something with fitness. And I was like in my head, I didn't think there was any money to be made or like any possibility of doing anything with it. So I was like, what's the point? And then finally one day, I just got fed up with work. I was like, bro, I would literally like get paid half of what I'm making right now. Like as long as I can pay my bills and get Chipotle, I would rather just be fulfilled and do fitness stuff. So that was like 2018, and ever since then, like got in the fitness grind. So first couple of years, I was making fitness content. It was just on Instagram, and I would post like infographics. I would occasionally post some workout videos, but I was like posting every single day. Didn't grow at all the first 2 years at all, but like built my coaching business up a little bit. And then in 2019, Gary Vee was talking all about TikTok. So I was like, shit, I got to jump on TikTok. So I started just posting random like tips about like dumbbell, if you want to grow your back, do dumbbell rows. Like just very like baseline level shit. And that was the golden era of TikTok, or the beginning of the golden era. So I posted one video about like growing your quads with front squats. Got like 200,000 views. I was like, and I've been posting on Instagram for 2 years, grew maybe 200 followers. In a matter of like 2 weeks, I grew like 10,000 followers on TikTok. I was like, oh, that's the answer. So that year, in 2019 to 2020, I just went crazy on TikTok. Like that was like grind mode for me, biggest grind mode. And in that year, I like quadrupled my business. That was like the craziest jump that I've had.
Damn.
And then since then, just been
awesome.
It was cool as shit. It was crazy. And like that was around the same time I met Eric. Was like 2020 because we posted like kind of our demeanor with videos, and I think a lot of the stuff we post about like what to focus on to actually make progress, like what actually leads to progress, was along the same like thought process. And so then people started commenting on probably both our videos, but they were like, "Yo, I fucking love your and Eric's content." So then me and Eric like linked up and talked, and we'll talk about that in a second. But ever since then, just been growing my own fitness coaching business, social medias. A lot of what I talk about is like how to balance out like having fun with still making progress. That's probably something too we can talk about, where it's like you still have to work hard with that, and I think that's something I miss out on my content. And me and Eric have talked about that the last couple of days. I enjoy going out and getting drinks. I enjoy traveling. I eat out a lot. I definitely like am in the streets, but there's also a lot of work that goes into that. Like you have to be disciplined with enough stuff to be able to have like the fun and still make progress with any aspect of life, fitness and the business side of things. So the last couple of years just been gradually growing. I'm trying to think what else. From Ohio, I moved to LA for a couple years, moved to Florida, and now we're here.
No, it's funny because when we linked up, like a lot of people know, like even on this podcast, like I don't bring people on this podcast, because like I don't really fuck with that many people, and so it's like I bring my clients on and Clubhouse members and stuff. But no, I was like, I didn't even know how we even really connected via FaceTime. Like I think just one day we were just like, yo, we should FaceTime.
It was like a Saturday afternoon. I remember that.
I was walking out, so I was taking one of my walks.
Bro, it was like a 2-hour FaceTime though.
I remember that.
So you were like the first person I talked to that also was doing the same thing, and it was cool because I was like way undercharging clients at that point in time. I remember that. I told you I was like charging people like $100 for a one-on-one client, and you were like, bro, what are you doing? And I was like, shit, man, I didn't know. And we just like chopped it up, talked about like how we got into the whole like fitness space, like the business side of things, kind of what our goals were. And ever since then, I was like, it just like felt right. Like it was just a homie that could talk about anything. And Eric's like one of the coolest dudes because he literally, I'm trying to word this in the correct way. He like doesn't care about anyone else's, like he doesn't judge other people for shit. He just wants people to be happy and like work hard with their shit, and he's like full steam ahead on his own thing. Like it's like really dope to be around people like that. Like he'll hype people up, he'll hype me up on shit. But again, like I'm in the streets a lot. Like I have been like, again, I work hard with stuff, but like Eric is not a judgmental person. He'll be like, yeah, you should probably like grind a little bit more, but he's like not judging at all.
But I think that's one of the things about like I've like with your content, it's like people will see like, oh, but Eric, you don't drink and Pat drinks. I'm like, so? I'm like,
true.
Who fucking cares?
Exactly.
Bro? Like, but it's cool because I think there's a million different ways, and even like we talk about from like a business or just from like a life perspective, right? It's like there's a million ways to do it. Like you got to find the right way. You got to find the right way for you.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I think, and even like we were talking, like there was some, like we were talking about how some people I listen to were like, oh, you shouldn't take a week-long vacation, and I'm like, I love like that 1 week-long vacation a year I take. I fucking cherish that thing, and it's like a great time for me. And so even something as simple as that, where it's like, different things work for different people, but there's a couple of things that like you have to do no matter what. There's a couple of things you have to do, and have your fun, do your thing. Or like the way I think of this is like, everybody knows I'm a big Kobe fan. You're a basketball fan too, so it's like
LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like I remember Kobe and Shaq, and Kobe was just like, I'm doing business nothing. Yeah, he's like, I'm doing nothing but working. I'm doing nothing but basketball. I'm doing nothing but, like, that's it. And then Shaq would say, he was like, yeah, I was basketball and we would do our thing, but he was like, I would go to the strip clubs and I would go out, and it's like,
wild boy.
It's just it's the two dynamics, but they won 3 championships together. You know what I mean? And so it's like, there's multiple ways to get to where you want to be. It just all depends on who you are as a person. And I think that's important for the people who listen to this. It's like, you don't have to do something a certain way. You don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to act a certain way. You don't have to, like, I don't have to be Pat and Pat doesn't have to be me. Like, we can both do our thing and you know, help people. Because that's the thing, too. There's so many people that will resonate with you versus me and me versus you. Yeah, like, I think I'm like, sometimes I'm pretty fucking hardcore. And, like, I'm just pretty, like, yo, get the fuck on your shit. And, like, I'm just very much, like, and some people might be like, well, fuck, I don't know if I can vibe with that. And I respect that. And it's like, maybe someone would vibe with you a little bit more. And so,
for sure. Some people need different things. And like you said, they can relate and vibe to different characteristics and had different lifestyles.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I love it, man. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, but I think overall, a lot of what we do is similar, though, or a lot of, like, what we believe in is similar. Like, 100%. Especially with fitness, with fat loss, like, it's all the same concepts that we believe in. It's just, like, it's communicated differently in our content and kind of how we enact it and how we, you know, go about coaching probably in a little bit.
But that's where, and we were talking about this earlier, but like that's where I think people think like with Pat, it's like they see him make a video about fun foods or drinking, like, oh, well, he just and I'm like, no, like 90% of the time he's on his shit,
bro,
and he's dialed in, and he's like eating good, and he's, you know what I mean? It's like, because you can't do the things that you do with the progress that you've seen otherwise, right?
Not at all.
And that's where I think it's important for people
I'm super intentional with my shit. Like even when I go out, like I do like to go out, but I'm like, there's shit I have to get done day to day. Like I need to post. Like if I don't post a piece of content a day, like I will be anxious as hell the whole time. Like we just now, it got to be like 3 o'clock. I didn't post any content, and I was about to like go outside and bro, I gotta record some shit really fast. And then luckily we made the RDL video. Check out the video if you haven't.
Check out the video.
And I was like, God, thank God we like did the collab video. But like you gotta get shit done, or else you're not gonna move the needle. Like I don't feel fulfilled. Like that for me, going out and like having fun foods and doing all that stuff would not feel as good or be as fun if I wasn't like actually making progress with life, with my business, and like with my body. Like I would just, it wouldn't be as fun. It was not fun. It's just not fun then.
And I also think, and we're going to dive into Q&A here in a second as well. Who knows how long this podcast will be. So I also think too, like speak on, because you can speak on this, because I don't go out. I don't drink. I really don't. Like, I'll go out to Chick-fil-A here and there, but it's like I get the same shit, right? And so it's like, speak about what actual, like, moderation looks like. Because I think you're a good person to talk about this, because for me, it's like I'm so on the, you know what I mean?
So side of it, So I think moderation, you still have to be so intentional with it. I think that's the thing. So it's like there's 2 different types of moderation I think about. It's like, or 2 different things. It's like maybe you have one day where you're just like eating like literally whatever you want, or you have like a week where that happens. Like when I was in Italy, I had a week where I was just like, bro, I'm drinking every day, I'm eating every day, I'm going ham. And then like but you have to get back to the shit ASAP, like ASAP. Like you have to draw a fine line in the sand and be like, no matter what, I don't give a fuck what this person's doing. I don't care what's going on in life. Like I'm gonna be on my game with nutrition, get workouts in. So that's like the 2 kind of extremes right there. But then on a day-to-day basis, like the way I always go about it is like I'll save, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 calories for like fun shit when I'm like going out. And like there's some days, yes, you like go over calories. You've talked about that in videos where it's like if you go over, like you can't, there's nothing you can do. Like just get back on track the next day. And it's like such a cliche thing to say, like, oh, just get back on track. But like, if you really like build, it is so fucking cliche. But if you actually like make that a hard habit and like get back on track the next day, and then at night, I think it's, when you actually are going out, I think it can be tough at times, especially when you're like actually having fun and it's like, fuck, like you're drunk and then you like want to keep drinking and people are doing stuff, and then when you're drunk, you want to get food. I think it's definitely like an acquired skill. Like and that's where I'm happy I do it a lot, because I've like learned how to kind of tailor it and like reel it in at times. And I know like, all right, when I go out, like probably like 4 or 5 drinks is probably the max I want to have tonight. There definitely are nights where I'm just like, forget it, like I'm just gonna do whatever. But most of the time, it's very intentional.
You know what? I think I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know what? I think like when you do have those nights, that is probably not after you've already had a weekend or 2 previously.
Absolutely not.
But this is where I think people fuck up, because they're like, might have a night like that, but like the weekend before was like that, and the weekend before was like that, and the day before was like that. So it's like that might happen for you, but like that's after 6 weeks of you being dialed, and then you have one of those nights, and then you have 6 more weeks of being dialed. That's where I think people, they misunderstand like what that actually is.
Yeah. So here's how I go about it. It's like I'll have like 2. Of late, it's been like 2 to 4 nights, but like 2-ish nights per week.
You're gonna cut back to 2.
Cutting it back to 1. I'm cutting it back to 1. But one night where I'll have like 1,000 calories I'm working with, where I'll like go out and like, I think it's also like picking and choosing what you want. Like when I drink, the meal I have is like mad healthy. Like I still will get like a grilled chicken salad, and then I'll be like, all right, well, I want to have like 6-7 drinks tonight, so I'm gonna have a grilled chicken salad. So it's like picking and choosing kind of what you want, and I think there's different. It's being intentional. It's like different choices that you make. So like other times I might go out and I'll be like, I want ice cream, so I'm probably not gonna get too many drinks. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Or a heavy entree.
Or a heavy entree. Or like I rarely get an appetizer. Like unless I'm just like.
Oh, I'm big on appetizers.
Yeah, I could tell with those chips earlier.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, I fuck with appetizers.
Oh man,
dude, when I go to Chipotle, I get 2 burritos with those chips, bro.
Those
are good.
Yeah, they are really good.
They're good. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, that's like basically what I mean by it. It's like most of the time you do have to be on your game with stuff, and even on the days when you are going to have fun foods and going to enjoy yourself, like there has to be moderation, and it is about fitting it within calorie goals. Like that's ultimately the biggest thing, and I think that's where like we talk about the same stuff. Like you could work in like some ice cream into the day. You can work in drinks into the day. But I think it's like having the first couple meals in the day or whatever, 1 to 2 meals, be like higher protein, low calorie, super filling, high volume.
Talk about that. Like what would your breakfast and lunch look like if you're going out to dinner on a Saturday night?
Breakfast would be
and not doing a leg day where you're gonna pass out.
Yeah, like an actual normal day. I would probably do like Greek yogurt, fruit, some kind of like eggs, like egg white scramble with like ham or like turkey in it, and then like a protein shake, and then I would have like carrots or cucumbers as a snack like throughout that time, and then at lunch it would be like a big ass salad or like just like some kind of protein like ground turkey, ground beef with probably like a piece of fruit, like an apple or a banana, and then like veggies on the side. Like super like literally only protein and veggies for the most part, and then maybe a little bit of fruit, and then I'd save like 1,000, 1,500 calories for like the nighttime, and then I can like kind of do whatever the fuck I want at that point.
Smart, and that's the only way you can make.
Oh, it is. That is the only way. Yeah, you can't have like. Because if you no one's gonna go out to eat and have like 400 or 500 calories to work with. Like, sure, you get the healthiest shit on the menu, but like I would just rather have a meal at home then. Like, I guess if you are going out to meet friends, like, yes, you can do it, and that's dope. Like, I've done that before. Like, I'll be like, all right, I do want to stay on my game, but I already kind of ate a lot earlier, so I'll like just get something super healthy and kick it. Like, you can do that, and that's perfectly fine. But I would rather go out and like actually enjoy the meal from going out and doing shit. So I'd rather just like delay gratification, delay the fun shit till later in the day. And have that. So that's kind of what it looks like on those days.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. All right, sweet. Let's fire up some Q&A.
All right, let's get it popping.
Yeah, let's see what we got. For a little Q&A. It stopped raining a little bit, so that's South Florida, man.
We might go skinny dipping.
Dude, I wanted to get jet skis today, actually.
Bro, I love jet skis
too,
man.
You know, the first time I ever did one was in Mexico.
It's a good place.
Hit that bitch hard, bro. That shit was nice.
I did it in Cabo the last time. It was
that's
fun.
where I was. Yeah, I was in Cabo.
Oh yeah, that's fun in Cabo.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what some good ones are.
Yeah, just pick one and we'll rock it.
We just talked about that. Thoughts on the weight loss shot craze? Semaglutide, Ozempic.
You pick this one, bro.
Easy out or good start?
Have you? So I'll ask you this: have you listened to Jordan Science podcast on this?
I haven't.
So if you guys listening, if you want to go listen to Jordan Science podcast on this, he brought on 2 doctors. Who are both like weight loss professionals.
That's a way better person to talk about it than us.
I will give my brief 2 cents, and this is stemming somewhat from what I listened to on those 2 doctors on his podcast. There absolutely can be some positive benefits to those shots. Like, there has been studies to show it's like it does help with like basically what I guess they were kind of calling it was like the food noise, where it's like if all you think about is food, right?
I feel that.
And so there's also been some like studies to show it's like it can help with like the lesser addiction type feeling, right? So as of right now, I mean, they're. But here's the thing: if you're gonna do that, you have to do it under like a real medical professional, because people are just getting them and like fucking selling them like black market for fucking weight loss shots. And I'm like
treating it like Vyvanse. Or
yeah,
like
yeah. And it's a real thing. Like you have to make sure.
Yeah.
And there's people like they said like is in the easy out. I don't know if it's an easy out. My thing is like, have people lost weight before without weight loss shots? It's like, yeah, I mean, for sure, right? It's like, so do you need it? No, like I don't think you need it. And by the way, it's like you'll have to take it every day for the rest of your life, because if you don't, so the main thing behind it, the main mechanism is it makes you less hungry. So it has you eat less calories. So that's the main thing behind it. Like I've heard people where they're like, like after dinner they're not fucking starving anymore, and like so they eat less calories. So that's it's not just like a magical like fat loss thing. It's like it makes you eat less calories. But so with that being said, it's like that's the mechanism it allows you to lose weight from. Is it something that I would just like be really quick to jump on? No, I personally, and there's the argument of like, oh well, I take fish oil every day. So what's the fucking difference? And it's like, I mean, I guess there could be an argument for that, where it's like you take creatine every single day, right? So it's like, I don't know if there's a right answer. I don't want to say I'm not against it or for it. You talked earlier about like I'm not judgmental. I really don't give a fuck if you do it or don't. I don't think it's an easy out, but I also think on that same note, like I feel like there's a lot of people who. And this is almost like with weight loss surgeries sometimes, and I can just speak on this because I know I've coached so many clients, like they'll get the weight loss surgery, but they won't actually change their habits along with it, so they would gain the weight back. And so my thing is this, on the bottom line, this is kind of rambling, but on the bottom line, it's like, no matter what the fuck you do, you have to change your habits, you have to exercise more, you have to eat less calories, you have to eat more protein, you have to get good sleep. Like, all of this comes back to the same core shit. So, I don't know that I'm for or against the weight loss injections. I just think no matter what, you have to be doing those things. Beyond that, I would probably speak with a medical professional that is certified in weight loss, that is actually going to take into consideration all aspects of you. Because, for example, it's like, oh, Eric, well, I'm fucking starving. It's like, you're eating 40 grams of protein. Like, of course you're starving. Like,
not
eat more
drinking
protein.
water, not having veggies.
Not
like
sleeping, you know what I mean? So it's like, you really have to look at it from a much more, I don't like the word holistic, because like, I don't know, I just fucking hate that word.
It's like a taboo word.
Yeah.
There's like different.
Just look at the full picture before you go and make a decision. And again, consult with a real medical professional before actually fucking doing any of that. Because there are some serious side effects that could come from it. And when I say serious, like, there's like, you're going to get fucking really bad indigestion, really bad diarrhea. Like, you can go look it up if you want to, but it's a real thing. So that would be my 2 cents on it. What do you think?
Similar kind of thing. I think like either way, your habits have to change. You know who Alberto Nunez is, like the natural bodybuilder?
I think so.
So when I was like kind of getting into fitness, he was talking about like jumping on steroids in one period of time, and he was like, why would I do that when I'm not like nailing my nutrition? I'm not working out as hard as I could be. I'm not like getting enough sleeping. I'm not doing all these things anyway. So why would I jump on this just to like speed up progress when like inevitably I need to be doing this stuff either way and can probably maximize my progress? So I think it's that where it's like before you take like, again, I don't know like the side effects. I don't know like the health things that are associated with it.
That's the one big thing we're like saying here. Like
I don't know that much about it. I just think either way, like until you get like you're gonna have to face those same things no matter what if you actually want to make the progress you want to. Like it doesn't matter if someone wants to get like jacked as hell. Like if you take steroids, yes, it's obviously gonna speed that up. But if you're not like maximizing all those things or doing them at least decently well, like you're not gonna look how you want. The same thing with that. Like I think that's kind of my interpretation of it. Like ultimately, like I think people, it's almost with like some diet. Sometimes it's like sometimes people just do it because they think it's gonna make them lose weight super quick, and they don't have to do literally anything else.
And the other thing I'll say on this too, if you're taking it to lose the last 10 pounds to get shredded, fucking idiotic.
Yeah, it's not worth it at all.
Fucking idiotic. No, you could be more here. We're on the podcast.
That's fine. I mean, I know.
I know. That would be fucking stupid. That I can say for a fact. If you're taking it for solely vanity reasons, to get more shredded, you're a fucking moron. Don't do that, because it's not healthy. The side effects aren't worth it. And again, that's just something that I think is going to do more harm than good in the long run. So that I can say for sure. The other shit we said earlier, it's more speculation, opinion. Like, and again, if you want to go check out that podcast with Jordan Syatt and the doctors on there, you can feel free to go ahead too. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. I like it. How long did it take for you guys to achieve your current physiques?
My entire life. I started working out when I was 16. I am now 27, so 11 years, right? And I mean, I would say the most progress I made was probably from 16 to 20. After 20.
Since then, when's like the period of time you've made the most progress with your body, you feel like?
Aesthetically?
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, it's tough as fuck after that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, really tough. Like it's very diminishing returns after that.
Yeah, and that's where like I don't want to like discourage people, but like
it is though, bro. Like it's about like
hard.
Maintaining, and then I think it's like picking different goals and like trying to get better, stronger with certain exercises, bringing up some body parts a little bit more. Like it becomes kind of like a.
And that's where for me, there was a period of time where I focused so much on aesthetics. Like that's all I gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
And it burnt me the fuck out because I was like, my biceps grew a fourth of an inch, and I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And it's like I would look in the mirror every single day and be like, oh, did my back grow even more? And like, so my thing is more towards like performance-based goals. Like we were talking about this earlier, like, you know, the strength-based goals, like whether it's like squat, deadlift, like that kind of stuff. Like that's really where my focus has kind of shifted to, or even like my focus is, and this is gonna, like my focus is making sure each workout I'm trying to take it as close to failure as I can. It's not even about the aesthetics. It's not even about the you know, building muscle. Like all that is true, but like it's more about just the day-to-day process
like
we talked about. Yeah. That's for me. I think I've made much more progress in trying to make, like you saw how like you saw how I work out today. It's like I try to bring it to every single workout. Like I try to do that at every single time. Yeah. So it's like that would be my biggest progress. What would you say?
I think it's for sure the first like 3-4 years I started lifting. Like I went from like 150 and I like bulked all the way up to like 230, bro. Like and I'm 5'9", so I was like a bowling ball at that point in time. And then since then, probably like last summer, like beginning of 2022 to like this time last year was the most progress I made. Like I got a ton stronger with deadlifts, squats. Like that was the leanest I ever was. Like probably like just best I looked, and also probably strongest at that weight. And so much of that was like getting enough sleep, like making sure I was on track with nutrition, like getting steps in.
The simple basic shit.
Like the simple stuff, like tracking all my workouts, like getting, like just having a set program I was following week to week. Like that was the biggest thing. Now for me, I go, again, talking about shit earlier, I feel like I go through seasons where like I'll be out and about and doing more stuff and like traveling. Like I just got back from Italy for 5 weeks, and like there, like I was generally trying to maintain, but there wasn't like shit I was gonna really accomplish there from a fitness standpoint. And now I'm like kind of back into a groove of like just almost wanting to get back to where I was last year. And then I think the biggest thing, it just makes me feel good going to get a workout. Like I know I'm not gonna make a ton more progress now. Like I've built a pretty good foundation. Like yes, I could get leaner at different points in time. I could focus on building a little more muscle at different points. But it's like, I don't know. I think between that, like once you get to a certain time in your lifting and fitness journey, like you're not gonna build a ton more muscle. And I think that's where it's like there's other focuses of life. Like when I started growing my business, I was like, I'm not gonna be in the gym for 2 hours. Like I'm gonna be here for, you know, an hour, maybe an hour 15, and then like I want to work on my business. Like I want to get other stuff done, or I want to like spend time with friends or go out, go do stuff. So I think it's like sometimes it's like about just maintaining it once you get to a certain point.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There can be different goals. Like you know what I mean? Like I think so many times people freak out because they're like they're not making the most progress ever humanly possible, and it's like, bro, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not your leanest ever, like, that's okay, right? Especially with social media. We talked about this earlier, but, like, especially with social media, like, you think, like, you have to look a certain way all year round. Like, go ahead.
That's what sucks too, because like it doesn't suck, and that's like our job to kind of be even better with our content and kind of keep pushing like that a realistic approach to fitness, but more realistic. But yeah, you see like the top like fitness influencers and people like be completely shredded year round and all that type of shit. And I think it gives people, and you made a video about it, but it gives people like a false reality of what actually your body should look like on a regular basis.
Yeah. If you're not on steroids in a professional body, right?
True, yeah,
right?
It's not your entire life and all that kind of shit. You're not spending up much time in the gym. Let's see here.
What else we got on this on the Q&A? This has been a good podcast so far.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's fucking pouring down rain again.
Wow.
I can't even see outside. That's crazy. Find a question. I'm gonna show.
Okay.
Damn, that's crazy.
That is wild.
Yo, you can't even fucking see outside. It's raining. Bro, look at these boats.
Are they out there? Yo, I gotta see this shit.
Hell, yo.
They.
Sorry for the people who, if you're not on YouTube, just go to YouTube at the 35-minute mark and look at what we're talking about.
Dog, that boat is like open
that boat
too. That one, the small one right here.
Yeah, it's going under the drawbridge, bro.
Yeah, they need to stay there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You need to park it at the
that's
hotel.
Tough.
That's an understatement.
Tough.
That's rough.
Yeah. All right, what we got?
What is the best way to get through your first plateau? I haven't been able to increase weight in weeks. So we can talk about plateau with like probably losing weight and like in the gym.
Yeah.
Let's start with like losing weight, like weight loss plateaus.
So with the weight loss plateau. My biggest thing is just most people aren't actually in a weight loss plateau. That's my biggest thing because of one of these reasons. Like I always tell people, if you think you're in a weight loss plateau, you got to check off all of these boxes. Number one, you have to check off, have you actually been 90% consistent for the past 28 days? And when I say 90% consistent, I mean you've hit your calories or stayed under your calories at least 28 out of the last 31 days. If you haven't done that, you're not in a weight loss plateau. You just are not consistent enough. And that's just the bottom line. So get that first and then come back and ask after that. Number two, are you actually weighing your food, counting your calories on a food scale? That would be the second part of the plateau to this. If you're not doing that, you're not in a plateau. Start doing that and you'll see progress. Number three, have your measurements gone down in that time period? So if they have gone down, you're not in a weight loss plateau. You're still losing body fat. You're not in a fat loss plateau, I should say. You might be in a weight loss plateau, but not a fat loss plateau. And then number four, have your progress pictures changed in the past 4 weeks? If they have, you're not in a fat loss plateau. You're still losing body fat, regardless of what the scale says. And so those 4 things on the checklist for me, if you've actually done that, you're a fucking unicorn. And you can, if that happens, you would then just either, it's actually really simple, you would either decrease your calories by 100 to 150 per day, or you would increase your steps by 3,000 to 6,000 per day, or add in 2 to 3 sessions of cardio per week at 20 to 30 minutes of low intensity steady state. But again, here's the issue. If you're not, for example, if you're not being consistent with what you're doing right now, you dropping 100 calories isn't going to do dick for you because you're not going to be consistent with that either. So it's not going to matter, right? So that's why, like, those couple things for me. What would you say? I
mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think that with calories too, like when I say goals for calories for clients, at one point in my coaching, if they weren't making progress, I was just like very quick to just like drop calories down. I was like, oh, it's not fucking working at that amount, so like I'll just drop it down. And that was like probably the first couple of years.
Yep.
And then I like kind of understood like the psychology of people even more, and it's like most of the time it's because they're not being consistent with it. And if they are being consistent with that calorie goal, either they're going to be like, yo, like I'm really working hard and doing it. And sometimes even people say that and they probably still could do a better job, but yeah, most of the time if you are like actually lock in and like stop bullshitting and like actually track it and like be intentional, like you will start to make progress. And then I think it's just like having the right expectations of how long progress takes. Like we've both posted different clients that like over the course of 6 months they lose 25 pounds, and then when you do the math on it, it's like, yo, they lost on average a pound a week. Or it's like, you know, someone loses like 15 pounds in 6 months, but they just started lifting and their body changes so much. Someone's gonna be like, holy shit, it looks like you lost like 40 pounds, but really like scale weight, they only lost 15. Yeah. But because they started building muscle, started like actually just losing mostly body fat, like they look a lot different, even though scale weight has gone down a ton. So I think it's like setting realistic expectations and like understanding what good progress is and like going after the right goal, like actual fat loss. Because I think so many people set a goal of losing, you know, 15, 20 pounds, and then when they're not like perfectly on track to do that shit, they like start spazzing out about it. And so I think you got to kind of reassess what like progress is and what that looks like before you deem it that you hit a plateau, because like you're probably well on the way. It's just like maybe you had a month where you didn't lose 5 pounds, like because a lot of times people do any diet, like the first month you will end up losing, if you're actually on your shit, you're gonna lose like 6 to 10 pounds right away. Like even like people when they do low carb shit, obviously you're low carb, so like you lose a lot more weight quickly with that. And then the next month, whether you're doing low carb or like tracking calories, like you're probably going to lose weight relatively quickly. Maybe at first if you're like completely locked in. And then like the next month, if you don't make the same amount of progress, then people like freak out, and it's like, well, if you average it out, you're still like on a good trajectory. So I think it's those couple things to me are like things to think about
this, because this literally happened this morning. I was talking to one of my Clubhouse members, G, and she was just super upset about the progress she wasn't making. And so I was like, gee, like, tell me about what's going on. She's like, well, I'm like, when? So she started on June 5th. We're on June 23rd today. I'm like, gee, what'd you weigh when you first? And she literally she was like, yeah, like, you know, I'm just not seeing the progress I want to see. And like, you know, I'm being like super consistent.
Gee, it's been 2 weeks, dog.
Oh wait. So she was, that's a whole part of it in itself. But I was like, no worries. Like, so like, you know, what was your body weight when you first started? She's like, well, I was around like 200. I'm like, what do you like weigh right now? She's like, well, I'm around 195. And I'm like,
bro.
I'm like, gee, you've lost 5 pounds in 2 weeks? And she's like, well, when you put it like that, and I was like, if I would have told you when you first started this on June 5th, you would lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks, you'd probably be fucking stoked, right? She's like, that's all I wanted. I'm like, and now you're here and you think the progress isn't good enough.
Yeah, it's tough. People
stop being an asshole to yourself.
People play themselves, man. Dude, they get in their own heads. People play themselves.
You literally use. It's almost like we play this up. We want these things so bad in our head, and then when they actually get here, we're like, no, that's not enough though. And I'm like, no, you.
Which also is like psychology of people. Like I've been there, but yeah, I think it's like taking a step back. We were just talking about that, like being taking a step back and like being appreciative of like progress made in life, and like actually like having like goals and kind of seeing where you're at in the path of making stuff happen. Yeah, I think that's a big time thing that people go through too. It's like they make a certain amount of progress and they like feel like they're not good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough.
It's good enough. You're doing your thing.
Yes.
Keep going.
She was crushing it. She's gonna do well.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Happy for her.
So yeah, that would be for the weight loss part of it. For the strength training part of it,
there's a lot of factors with that too, because it's like if you're in a fat loss phase, like energy might not be as high sometimes. Maybe it's not like a proper program in place. Like you could be doing way too many exercises. Like could be that. It could be like you're maybe working out too many days. You're not getting enough rest. You're not getting enough sleep. Like calories aren't high enough. Like there's so many different factors with it.
Well, it's funny because I think every episode in this podcast I say, I'm like, you need to get on a real strength training program.
That is it though. Like
it's the bottom line. Like
yeah.
And it's funny because people like, and I was telling you this, but everybody, and I think everybody knows this too, but everybody who signed up for the Clubhouse on my birthday got a phone call with me, and like everyone was just like, I'm asking, like, why? They're like, oh yeah, well, you just say all the time you get on a proper program, so here I am, and I'm like, fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and people think that like how long you've been doing this since you were 19?
Lifting, like consistently training.
How old are you?
29, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 11 years, right? So it's like, you guys think like we just have these like 10, 11 years of experience and we're just like, you know what I mean? Like just fucking whacking it off over here. Like, dude, I get it. If you want to make your own shit, make your own shit. That's up to you. But like, you got to understand this is not just like a
willy-nilly.
I'll throw spaghetti at the wall and see what the fuck sticks. Like that question, like a strength training plateau, I answered it not too far back on my podcast if you want to go listen to it. But that really just comes down to you probably are not on a proper program. Because like I'm just gonna be real with you. Like most of the clients that I have, like when they're on a proper program,
they keep getting better, stronger over time, and they keep making progress. Like
Exactly.
even in a fat loss phase,
Exactly.
like majority of the, like I had a client, Mark, I just posted about it on my story. He's like mid 40s, had never like actually lifted like with the program and never focused on the shit we focus on. And bro, he's like gotten crazy strong in the last 6 months and like looks completely different. Like that's the name of the game. It's like focusing on the main compound exercises, actually tracking like weights, reps. I think it's another thing too. Like people just arbitrarily think they hit a plateau with their strength as well, and it's like similar thing with like losing weight and like scale weight not going down. It's like, all right, well, are you actually tracking calories? Like do you know like why or why not you're not making progress, or why you know? It's the same thing with strength training. Like you got to track weights, reps, and have an idea of kind of where you're at, so then you can understand like what the next step is to keep getting better. I think even that's like one step.
You have to have a plan for like if you want to get better with bench press, you have to have a plan for that. You can't just go in and do 3 sets of 8 to 10. It's like, no shit, you're gonna hit a fucking plateau. Like if that's one thing I can give you, I think so many people are doing way too many reps, not actually focusing on strength work. Yeah. And that's why you eventually hit a plateau, because your newbie gains kind of just like fizzle out. Yeah. And because when you're a newbie, you can do 5 reps, 10 reps, you can do 20 reps and you'll get stronger.
Yeah, you'll see like visible changes.
Exactly. But after that newbie gains phase, you got to dial it in the real program. And if you're not doing specific strength work, you're not usually going to get stronger because you're not doing specific strength work. So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's other components to it too, and it's like, do you want, obviously it's a shit ton more, but if it is like, do you want to get better with bench? And it's like, all right, well you probably obviously like need to do less like lower reps, like more strength rep range, but then also like working more on triceps, like working more on some of those other like secondary muscles that impact it. And again, that's where like an actual proper strength training comes into play, because most people just go in like fuck around and wonder why there's no progress.
Like in the Clubhouse, for example, like the first. I mean, we have like various different programs, but like let's just take like the monthly workout programs that we have. From like January to March, it was very strength focused, and then from April to probably about July, August is going to be a little bit more like hypertrophy focused, and then September to December is going to kind of be more like power building focused. But it's like you have a specific focus and priority for what you're doing in that workout. Again, it's not just let me go in and just fucking do some shit, because there's differences that you would do, and there's different reps and how many sets and how many exercises. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and like most people don't. You don't think of it because it's not your fucking job to think about it. Your job is to take care of your kids, go to work, make a living. You know what I mean? Like I get it, but that's why there's people like ourselves who do this for a living. So
for sure,
yeah. So that's what's next, Sir Pat.
So a question I asked you earlier, we were talking about earlier, what are characteristics of clients that have the most success for each of us? Yeah. Within like group coaching and one-on-one, what would you say?
I've done a podcast on this a while ago. It's a great question. I think one of the first things, and probably the most important thing, is you have to be willing to change and try new things.
That's like I was gonna say. You have to be open minded to doing it, because I think so many people get in weight loss and they have this like preconceived notions about like needing to do fasted cardio, needing to be low carb, needing to
And not even so that, but also on top of that, I would say like people, I don't eat breakfast. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's the fucking reason you're overeating at night.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the shit that you were doing, everybody, this is one of the issues I think with just people and like society in general. You want what you want, but you want to do it your way. You can't do it your way and get to where you want to be, because your way got you to where the fuck you are right now. So you have to be willing to change. You have to be open-minded to trying new things and to tracking calories, for example, backing off the HIIT cardio, going to more strength training. Like, you have to be open-minded to take a different approach. Because if not, you keep doing the same shit. Pat, if you keep doing the same shit, what are you going to get?
In the streets forever.
Yeah.
But no, you're gonna be fucking stuck. Like, and that's the other thing too. When someone like reaches out, it's like there's a reason you reached out. So like, why wouldn't you actually like try to implement the stuff we're working on? I think that always like kind of throws me and threw me a lot. I think when I first started coaching and training people a lot, I was like, I don't understand. I used to be so hurt when people like didn't make progress or like didn't follow through. Like, one, that's on me to like get better as a coach, but I think it's also like sometimes that's how people are as well, and like they're stubborn and don't want to change shit. But you have to, like, if you're not fucking making the progress you want, something has to change. Like,
and the tough part about this is, and I'll show some empathy, like change is very uncomfortable.
Super uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And so it's like, you've been doing things a certain way. Like, you know, it's actually funny. Shout out my guy Herman. Like, you know, we just worked out together yesterday, and like, you know, like, it's funny because like when he joined, right, it's like he just fully bought into the programs that we were doing in the clubhouse. Like fully. He's like, do it to a T, push himself. And the kid's like, he's lost like 60 pounds at this point. By the way, him and his dad do it. His dad's a savage.
I saw him comment and say something about like, thanks for taking me with my dad and shit.
Shout out Herman's dad. But like fully, like I'm thinking of people like that where it's like maybe in the past, because Herman, he was a former like college football player. So like super strong, like already had a solid understanding of like working out, but like even with that, even with a very solid background, he's just still like fully put all of his chips into the program, and like the kid's a walking example of like what it is to see progress, right? And so and that's what I mean. It's like I get that change is very uncomfortable, and you might be scared to like lose some of the progress that you made. But here's what I tell people too: it's like if you're doing something right now and that's gotten you to where you are. And let's say maybe you have been consistent, so on and so forth, and you're scared to change over to this thing, start eating breakfast, do less cardio, do more strength training, you know, work in fun foods, whatever it is. If you're scared to do that, well, guess what? Try it for 3 months, and you could always just go back to what you were doing because you know where what you were doing got you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? You know where it got you, so like, you could always go back. If that's your safe, comfortable spot, like, you could always go back there and do the same shit you're doing because you know where it's going to get you. So
for sure. I was gonna say too, like, if you like want to take the next level too, or next step too, we were kind of talking about that with business stuff. It's like once you get to a certain point, once you grow to a certain point, like you have to move a little bit differently and like operate in a different way to like keep making strides and keep progressing. And I think like one of the big characteristics that I always see with people that make the most progress is like they are ready and want to change. Like something happened and they're like, yo, like fuck this shit. Like I'm at a point where like nothing has worked. Like this is the only thing that makes logical sense to me. Like I'm ready to like do it and ready to like attack it. I think a lot of times people, I was actually telling this to the guy Mark that made a lot of progress. We were talking about it because I had posted, one of my former clients sent me a text and she was like, I did Weight Watchers with my mom and like I ate all the like a bunch of 0 point foods and like I still like gained weight. And she was like, you're right, calorie deficit is the only thing that like actually works. And then I was talking to Mark about it and he was like, I just don't understand that. He was like, it's literally like how you lose weight and don't. But he was coming from a place of like, all right, I'm ready to make a change. Like, let's do it. Let's make shit happen. So I think that's like one of the big things. I'm trying to think of other characteristics. I think someone that's like really engaged in the process too. Like I have had clients where they're just like about their business, they'll execute on stuff, but like it does make me happy. And I know someone's like actually wanting to make progress. If they're like, yo, I hit a new PR, hit a new low weigh-in, or I have a question about this. Like that's when I'm like, all right, you're actually going to make progress because you actually care about what you're doing.
I tell that to people all the time too in the clubhouse. I'm like we're in the group all the time. Like we have a weekly Q&A, and I'm like, ask your fucking question.
Like I do my lives too, and I'm like, yo, you can literally ask me anything. Like it will not be a dumb question. Like we are here to help you. We are completely here to help you, and like it could be anything.
So I think that's a big one too. It's just like ask the questions and like get the feedback, get
the most out of it. Like that's what you signed up for, is like for us to guide you in any way possible. I both of us like want to help people. Like that's like what we're in do this for, is like to help people make the most it's and be the best version of themselves.
It's like, so we talked about this earlier. You know, we have 10 plus years of experience for both of us. It's like that's what's valuable, because number one, we've already fucked everything up, and so it's like we can teach you from our fuck ups. But then number two, we've gotten people the results, and so it's like you're paying to just like, as opposed to you spending the next 3 years, because people will do this. You'll spend the next 3 years trying to make your own program, trying to come up with your calories, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do it on your own, and like you won't get anywhere, and you'll get super frustrated, super pissed off, and like then you'll sign up for coaching, and it's like just like you're paying to like, and by the way, it doesn't have to be paid, but like we'll just use this as the example. Like you're paying to like shorten the time to you to get results because of you're paying for the experience and the time shortage.
Yeah, that's what I tell people too. It's like you're investing in making progress now, and then like it's a skill that you learn for the rest of life. Like it shortcuts everything. Like you're getting the information necessary. Like we condense it in like a digestible way, and like are there with you to support the journey throughout. So
because one of the things right now is like the internet.
Yeah.
Fucking everything's on the internet.
And that's what I was going to say too. Like people, maybe they'll try to make their own program and try to come up with their calories, but that's only like one side of what they could be doing. Maybe they're going to be like, oh shit, well this lifting thing isn't working because they did it for like a month and nothing happened. And then they'll do like all HIIT workouts, or then they'll do like Pilates. And it's like, bro, like it's jumping around like that is definitely not going to lead to shit.
Hopping.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Same with like diets. Like people do different diets. And I think another thing, that's what I was getting to with the Mark story. He was like, why do you think like people do that? And I was like, I think sometimes people treat like counting calories as just like the next diet they're going to try, and not actually understanding like, yo, this is, no matter what diet you do, it is all about the total calories. Like that's what leads to progress, is being in a calorie deficit. And I think people treat like how we coach is like, oh, it's just like a new diet. Like I'm gonna try this new diet sometimes. When really it's like, this is it. Like this is how you make progress and don't. Obviously, there's people make progress in different ways, and like we talked about, people accomplish goals in different ways. But understanding that is big.
The education part.
Yeah.
Well, and another one too, and this is anybody who was on my Clubhouse live yesterday. Shout out my guy Marley. Marley, he's gonna crush it. But he was asking a question about counting calories, and he was kind of just like, I don't really think I don't want to count calories.
That was a question that someone like asked, and I was going to actually ask you about. Yeah, let's dig into that.
Both of it. He was kind of like, I don't want to count calories, and it wasn't. So what I'm about to say, this wasn't his reason, because what I'm going to say is like you just can't, like, two things. You can't quit, and you can't just be like, oh well, this is too hard, so I'm not going to do it. Like, there has to be a level of mental fortitude. There has to be a level of grit. There has to be the I'm not gonna quit no matter what, and I'm gonna figure it out no matter what mentality. That's it. Like, because truthfully, if you do that, how can you not reach your goals at that point? If you take the mentality of no matter what, I'll figure it out. No matter what, I'll get it done. No matter what, if this isn't working, I'm gonna find out what does work. Like, when you take that mentality with it, you can't, like, one of the number one things I think about when I wake up in the morning is, all right, how can I get people to not quit today? Just today, how can I get people to not quit? Because I know if they don't quit,
if you just keep chipping away, that's the name of the game with anything.
Yeah, so I think that for me was a big one, just those two mentalities. So.
Yeah, I was going to say something off of that. I don't fucking know. Yeah, all right, fuck it. Let's keep it pushing.
All right. What time we got?
5:39.
Okay.
You want to answer like a couple more?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Right. Stop raining again. Let's go.
Yeah. Looks like there's little boats out and about again.
That one dude was going through it in that little boat.
That was tragic.
Yeah.
That was horrifying.
That sucks.
All right. Ooh, that's a good one. Feeling a bit directionless, what's a good first step to starting a nutrition routine, or starting kind of getting going like with nutrition, and probably just in general, I mean with fitness?
Okay, was that with life or with fitness?
I know, well, she said nutrition.
Okay, all right. Directionless. That's kind of tough. I mean, no context is kind of tough there.
True. Like, if you've been working on different stuff, you've been trying, like we talked about, where you're trying a bunch of different stuff, you literally just like haven't done anything for a while ever. Like, because what does it kind of look like?
And like, I'm thinking, like, did you make your fat loss goal, but now you don't know what to do?
True. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like,
we'll talk about that.
I like that one.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people will they'll reach their fat loss goal, and like, it can be very addicting to like see the scale go down each week, see your measurements go down each week, progress pictures side by side each month, and you're like, that can be very addicting. And then when it's out of there, you're like,
fuck, man,
what the fuck do I do?
I don't want to. What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah. So what do you say about that?
Her being directionless. Generally speaking, I think like that's where probably having a coach or having some kind of direction kind of does help. I think it's like figuring out what you want. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like where do you want to get to? Like, what's the deal? What's ideal situation? And then I think it's kind of figuring out what the steps are to get there. And again, like, you can kind of do that on your own if you look at the right content or just do your own research. Like, you can kind of figure it out there. We'll talk about, I will just say fat loss, I guess, because I think, again, there's like many different ways you go about it. But for fat loss, if you're just starting completely from scratch, like, I really think like just understanding and learning about calories is like the best first step that you could do, and it is tedious at first, and like it does take time, and like you do have to, it's like learning a new language damn near. Yeah, it's like, overwhelming, all these things. But so is anything, like when you first get started with it, like if you start to try to learn the fucking piano, like anyone could do it, but like you got to go through the steps to make it happen. So I really do think that's the best thing you could ever learn if you just want to kind of get the ball rolling. Like make one change a day. Like have one meal that's a fucking salad and a piece of fruit, and then keep having the other meals. Or maybe it's like, all right, I'm gonna keep eating all the same stuff, or maybe this one meal I'm gonna cut back on portions. Like I'm gonna eat like half of it and then have like a veggie on the side. But I really think the best thing is like really taking the time, even if it does seem tedious, like give yourself plenty of time and like understand how to track calories, how many calories certain foods has. Because once you understand that,
and don't expect to make progress during that time.
Yeah, no.
Which, by the way, you probably will. But when you have the expectation of not seeing progress, it takes a lot of the pressure off of you.
Completely agree.
Right? Like, so, I like that. I'll take it from the perspective of, like, if you've reached your fat loss goal and now you're, like, directionless. This is where I just lean heavily on performance-based goals in the gym, in your workouts. Because, like, you still got to fuel yourself to hit PRs. You still got to, eat the right foods to hit that deadlift goal, to hit that chin-up goal, to hit that bench press goal, to, do a certain amount of reps with a certain amount of weight. You want to hit 225 for 10 reps or whatever it is, right? Set those performance-based goals in your workouts because you can always set those. You can always have a better mile time. Yeah. You can always get stronger. You can always do these things. And so I think performance-based goals or setting like mental toughness goals. And that's where I think too, like even like something like 75 hard, for example, you don't have to do 75 hard, but like, and by the way, don't do 75 hard if you're using it for a weight loss. That's fucking idiotic. Don't do that.
People do that a lot too, man.
Stupid.
It is stupid.
Andy says himself, he's like, it's not a fucking weight loss program. Can you guys stop doing it for that? Like, so, but if you're using it to like have a mental toughness goal, it's like a lot of the stuff I do now is like, I challenge myself to not be a little bitch. Like I challenge myself to like live up to the person I think I'm like I say I am in my head. Like that's my fulfillment. And again, this is where like this might vibe with some people, might not, but like that's my sense of fulfillment. When I wake up, I'm like, I want to prove I'm the motherfucker that I say I am. I don't need the aesthetics anymore. I don't need the PRs in the gym. Like they're cool, but like I'm doing this shit so I can have the mental fortitude and the confidence in myself to know I can fucking do whatever the fuck I want to do and accomplish anything I want to accomplish. So it's very much switched to like an internal thing for me. So if you're directionless, like that could be one source of direction for you. It's like show the fuck up and that's cool too because you show up every single day and try to fulfill that potential. But that's the cool part, like you're never going to fill that potential ever because like even when you do get more skilled, well, you have more skills, so your potential is higher. So it's like this never-ending game of like every single day you can literally just like wake up and try to beat your next day and try to move closer to that. And that can give you, I think, a lot of direction. So
from a 1000% agree. And I think like I feel the most fulfilled when I'm just like getting up each day, showing up, like checking the things off the box they need to get done, getting in a workout, pushing myself, trying to get a little bit better, stronger, like performance side of things. I think, if you've already lost fat and like want to keep progressing with your body in some way, like different things that I've done with my clients are like, all right, we're going to do like a muscle building phase now. Like I think you have different phases where you can focus on that side of things. Or it's like, all right, trying to increase metabolism and like get to a point where the next time you do a fat loss phase, you're going to like look even better. Like I think it's kind of, there's different cycles to it if you want to go down that route. But I do think like you have to, it is showing up for yourself. And that's something I talk about when people like apply for coaching and we're talking about the whole process. I'm like, yes, like it's great that you want to lose fat and like want to do this stuff. But oftentimes there's like deeper reasons why people want to make progress, losing weight, losing fat. They want to be able to like be a good example for their kids. They want to like have more confidence with, women, with their job, like with stuff they do. And it's like, there's no better way to do that other than like showing up every single day. And like you said, proving to yourself that you actually can, be that person. And then again, when you actually do make progress and look a lot better, you feel more confident too. Like there's just a lot of different components to it. But yeah, if you're directionless, I think big picture is taking a step back. Like, where are you at right now? What do you want to accomplish? And then giving yourself time to like, get to that point.
Yeah, but that's where I think too. Like sometimes a coach can help because it's like
Big
they
time.
help you, it's
Big time.
They
Like
help you map things out and just like check it.
Even if it's for a period of time, like even if it's just for a period of time and you're working with someone to get shit rolling again.
I agree. Yeah. Maybe hit like one or two more and maybe.
How about this? How about this? There's not a ton more that are like a lot of people showing love. So shout out to everyone showing love. Shout out to y'all. Yeah. How about we ask each other a question and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, cool.
It can be fun or fitness related. True.
All right. Damn.
Yeah, that's tough. We should have thought of these. Yeah, probably. I kind of put you on the spot just now.
On the spot.
Yeah, big on the spot. Let's see. What's your biggest lesson from running your business / coaching people over the last 5 years? Or like something that stands out, or if you could like give someone advice if they're in that position, or just in general, like something that sticks out to you.
No, I think I have it. It's going to take a lot more work than you ever thought in your life. I think that's probably my biggest thing. And I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I knew that I was going to do it, but it's going to take a lot more work than you ever thought. And the reason I say that is because, again, going back to expectations, if you think that going into it, it really won't be that bad. And I think I don't know if I'm going to say a rare breed, but like I just knew I was going to do whatever, and I still will to this day. I'll do whatever it takes. I don't give a single fuck. I'll do whatever. But like, I just think if people can really think about whatever goal they want to accomplish, it's going to take way more work than you think it's going to take. When you actually get into it, it's actually not that fucking bad.
I agree.
It's not that fucking bad.
We build a lot of stuff up in our heads.
Yeah, and that's where like if you think it's gonna happen fast or gonna happen easy, or like if you don't think it's gonna be a lot of work, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because it's much like when people are like, I don't want to have any anxiety, and then when they have like the little bittiest of anxiety, they're like, oh, see, I told you, like this is terrible. And it's like, well, yeah, like you set yourself up for that, bro.
Right.
Like you set yourself up for that. So I would probably say business, fitness, anything, it's going to take so much more work than you had ever thought, but it's going to be so much more fulfilling than you ever thought on the back end as well. It's just worth it every single time in every single aspect. Again, fitness, business, relationship, being a parent, whatever it is, and obviously neither one of us are parents, but just it all flows together. It's like, yeah, it's going to be really fucking hard, but...
Calvin is my son.
Yeah,
Calvin
is his stepson.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, that would probably be mine. I'll ask you that, and I'll come up with a question. What would yours be?
Kind of building off that, I was going to say, like, you're capable of a lot more than you give yourself credit for. Like, I think people, like, have this, like, they don't think they're worth anything or don't think they can actually accomplish stuff, and whether that's like the people around on a regular basis or if that's them not actually like setting goals for themselves. Like, I think that's one big time thing. Like, there's so many people that have potential and like could look amazing, could feel amazing, and do great things, and they have like different talents and have different everyone can push themselves, but I just don't think they like deep down like really think that like they're the shit or could be the shit, and like everyone is the shit in their own way and like can be the best version of themselves.
Yeah,
I think that's one thing that I wish even earlier in my like business career, I wish I would have like thought that for myself. Like, bro, like you're not thinking like highly enough of yourself and like where you could actually take this shit. And part of that is too, you have to kind of go through those steps and be like, all right, I checked the box. I'm like, oh damn, like I actually made progress and got to this point. And then it's like, oh shit, like I can keep pushing and get to this point. I think that's a big thing that people probably don't think highly enough of themselves.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. Let's see here. I'm trying to decide if I want to go more like philosophical, like we just did, or just like a fun.
You can do a fun one too.
I know. I'm trying to decide.
I'm down with whatever.
I like the philosophical ones though. Okay, if you could go back and change, I'll kind of piggyback. If you could go back and change one thing about your coaching career thus far to make it better, what would that one thing be?
Just one, wow.
Man. Coaching career, business, whatever. I mean,
I probably would have, and I'm still kind of in the same boat. Like, I probably would, like, cut off more distractions, like, when I knew I was, like, really gaining traction on stuff. Like, in 2020, I was really on a roll, bro, until, like, probably, like, May, June, and then there's this girl I was dating, and, like, things were kind of up and down, blah, blah, blah. Didn't put enough time, like, as much time as I, like, really, like, wanted to at that time. Like, that's probably when I was, like, the most hungry with shit. And, like, just had, like, a little blip when, like, shit was kind of going awry with that, and then kind of got off track with shit. And, like, that was completely a choice in those moments where, like, looking back, I'm like, bro, I could probably kept momentum going better. And, like, there's been so many times, like, at least with my shit, I know. Shout out to Eric. He's by far the most disciplined person I know, for sure. Like, this dude is a machine. He's the man. I love this guy. He pushes me a ton. But that's one thing. I think probably just going harder on social media and, like, really pushing the envelope when, like, I knew shit was, like, really, like, with TikTok was, like, in the golden era of it, you could post anything. I think hammering home with that. I think hiring people sooner and, like, getting help sooner, I think that was a big time thing. I was so just, like, controlling of my shit, and I never thought anyone could actually do anything nearly as good as I could, or I didn't want to, like, I thought people would think differently of it if, like, someone else was helping them instead of me. And, like, I just, like, I was just such a control freak with that shit for way too long. So that's another thing. Like, could have done a better job by doing that. I could have done a better job servicing the people I was actually working with, because I wouldn't be trying to do everything at all times, and could have ended up, you know, probably helping more people.
That's mine.
Yeah, bro. I think that's, like, the biggest thing that people that are, like, really ambitious struggle with at first. Like, it was such just like a mind fuck to hire for a while.
Especially for me, because, like, my team I have now,
savages,
fucking killers, bro, killers. Like, Mary, Linda, Tara, and Angie. Like, you guys are like, just absolute fucking savages. Yeah. Like, and I'm just, I would not be, like you said, helping people. I couldn't help the people that. We couldn't help the people that we help if that wasn't, like, if they didn't help me, I would be fucked.
Bro, yeah,
fucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, like,
yeah, team that I have, like, Jason, Mackenzie, and Erica, like, I wouldn't, like, people, the member, the group coaching program, like, wouldn't be able to help them nearly as much, wouldn't be able to be there for them, like, wouldn't, like, the challenges I've done, one-on-one stuff, like, it just, I feel like I'm doing a lot better job via the team that I have now.
100%, bro, and that's where, like, that was a big thing. That was mine. And Linda, God bless her heart, for the longest fucking time.
How did you make your first hire? Like, how did that come? But, like, how did that come?
She was a client of mine for 2.5 years, and then I was just like, she's a killer. I knew that, and I'm like, hey, I need help in the clubhouse. Like, can you help me? And she was like, yeah, and I'm like, cool. And fucking ever since then, I don't know where the fuck I would be without Linda. But yeah, like, and she would beg me. She was like, can you just let me do more things? And I'm like, no, I got it.
Bro, you need someone like that, because Jason, the guy that my right hand man, like, he's the man. He'll literally he sent me a DM, like, nonstop for like a year. Be like, bro, like, can I intern for you? Like, is there anything I can do for you? Like, I'll work for you in any capacity. And finally, I was like, all right, yeah, like, you can start to do stuff. And then he just kept asking for more work. He was like, bro, is there anything else I can help you with? Like, what else can I do? Like, game changer. You need people like that to kind of push you with it.
No, I
make
agree,
you feel comfortable with it. That's a big time thing.
Cool. My fucking phone's about to die.
All right. Well,
where can the people find you? Got anything you want to shout out? Got anything you want to promote? Just tell people where they can find you. What you got going on?
All right. Instagram, Gains by Pat, at Gains by Pat. TikTok, at Gains by Pat. So I do one-on-one coaching. We have our one-on-one coaching program. So work with people to help lose fat, build muscle, do so in a realistic way. And then we also have our group coaching program, Realistic Gains. So check that out. Those are the two things. Yeah, that's what we're kind of building, working on. And I'm excited for both Eric and I's journey as we continue to grow our brand on social media, help more people, and keep being homies for a long time.
Yeah, man. I'll drop that stuff here below in the show notes of the podcast, guys, if you want to check it out.
This is great.
Yeah, this is great.
We're going to get some good food. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate you. Love you, bro.
You guys enjoyed the podcast. Feel free to, if you watched on YouTube, thank you so much. You can drop a comment down below on the YouTube if you did enjoy. Leave a review. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, wherever. We appreciate you. And thanks, guys. We'll chat soon.
Much love.